Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the RFD show. We are pumped up for this episode. It's a quick recap episode of the weekend that just passed, the semi-finals, and now going to the final weekend of the Currie Cup. It's going to be amazing. Joining me on the other side is the Jackal, aka Jock. Jock, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Very excited for the coming weekend's final.
Yeah, of course, because your team is in. So and they
Yeah,
they definitely the favorites. They are the favorites for this weekend. Or that's what I'm speculating. I've heard many people say they are definitely the favorites for this weekend. But let's quickly go to the recap weekend, which just passed on the 23rd of January. So it was, of course, your Vodacom Bulls against the Xerox Lions. Bulls taking that 26-21. What is your overall thoughts of the game? Are you proud of your boys? Didn't they play up to standard? Let me hear about your thoughts.
yeah. It was for me. It wasn't the best game to watch. I think the Lions had a good team to play with. I think the ball handling and that type of stuff wasn't up to standard for a semi-final game. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the Lions were the own enemy at in that sense of the game. But it was good for me to see the bench coming on for the Bulls and likes of Chris Smith who did a little cross kick uh, that ended up in a try. So it's good to see the benches coming on and actually making an impact. So that was for me the highlight of the game. But yeah, it's a strong Bulls team. Hopefully they will capitalize on the win and do it again this weekend.
Yes, of course. I mean, I feel the Bulls had a good lead, up to halftime.
Mm.
And the quick tries just in the second half for the Lions came in quick succession. But I think the Bulls quickly realized it and stepped up. I saw already Jake White speaking about how vital Dwayne Formulin was in this weekend, and as a standout captain. I mean, he's really one of the best undervalued captains in South Africa. This if you love him, you hate him, if you agree with his playing style or you don't, he was a vital part for the Springboks as well last year or the year before. Excuse me,
Mm.
we were already in 2021. So in 2019, he was a vital part of leadership with Siya Kolisi in the Springbok unit. And I think that experience is you can't just get it. You can't just pay for that experience. That experience comes with lots of battles against top players and yeah, just getting the know-how of the game. So well done to the Bulls. They kept the Lions out 26-21, like I said earlier. The Super Brew stats, just to give some overview, it was favored for the Bulls 79% to 21. So there weren't a lot of Lions supporters in that game, but also just because of the whole season and also the lineups, I really think that the Bulls did very well. So let's go onto the second game, which of course is my team, the DHL Western Province against the South Sea Sharks. Now, I have just a couple of thoughts to share, and then I'll definitely jump over to you, Jock. Um, the first thing is what I want to say is, of course, it's bad or it's not. I'm not very excited that my team isn't in the final facing the Bulls because it's always an epic battle to see the Province against the Bulls. It's been a battle for the ages, as far as I can remember. But the one thing that I really want to give credit to the Sharks is that their defense was phenomenal. I said like two or three sentences to you. We spoke about this just before we record this episode, and I just want to reiterate that again is that the defense of the Sharks was phenomenal in this game, and that is my prediction for this weekend as well. Is if they are going to beat the Bulls, it's not going to be with tries. It's going to be with defense. That's my prediction, and I would love to get your thoughts on this as well. But that's basically how they're going to get it. If they can keep the Bulls out for 60 minutes, it will be very disheartening for the Bulls because they have been playing very well. and a team that is naturally um, on the offense. I'm not saying they don't have good defense. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that, like, if you always look at the Bulls' scores, it's always tries. It's not just a kicking game for them. It's they want tries. And Jake White has never shown away from this. He wants tries as well. So I would like to get your thoughts on my prediction. If the Sharks is to win this weekend, it will be because of their defense, not because of their offense.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, that's such a good defensive line there. You have a couple of Springboks in there, um, so it's going to be difficult for the Bulls to break that defensive line. But yeah, like we saw with the Western Province, they also had difficulty there. We saw a couple of good tackles on players, hard tackles. That's what you want in a semi-final. Um, and you have a good line out there with the Sharks. So it's a complete team for me, and it's going to be difficult for the Bulls to even do something about it. But yeah, like you said, the Western Province, it was more in the first half. It's more between the kickers for me. Tim Sweel versus Cohen Bosch and so on. So it was more of just a kicking game for the Western Province, and they didn't capitalize on all the opportunities, and they just let it slip through the fingers. But like you said, with a defense like the Sharks, it's difficult for any team to score points against a team that has good defense. And yeah, it's going to be up to who has the better tactic coming this weekend, and the better team will win.
I completely agree with you. We'll see. Just also some Super Brew stats. It was 61 for the province, 39 to the Sharks. So it's definitely was a bit of an upset, but not the way that they played. They played phenomenal, and I'm very excited to see what is going to happen this weekend. It's going to be one for the ages. It's going to be an epic battle between the two. A couple of Springboks, which is going to be facing off with each other, and then definitely some new players. That's also very exciting. Let me hear, Jock. Do you have a pick already for this weekend, or are you still keeping that for yourself? Of course, you're backing the Bulls, but I want to know with how much.
Yeah, it's difficult because you have a team like the Sharks who is very good at the moment, and they're on a high after such a good win in a semi-final. So yeah, it's going to be difficult. I'm still going to pick the Bulls. Home ground advantage. They also have a good team. They have a good bench. So yeah, it's going to be a very tight battle. Like you said, it's going to be one to remember because the previous games that these have played in history has been big games. So and especially in the finals. But I'm still going to go with Bulls, but not by much. I'm going to go about 4 points. Just I'm going to speculate and say it's going to be a penalty kick at the death, and hopefully it goes over this final. So I'm going to go by 4 points.
Okay, well, just 4 points. That's so cool. So I'm backing the opposite. Unfortunately, I'm going
Mm,
for the Sharks because of their defense. I'm backing their defense. That's basically what I'm doing, and I think it's going to be a kick. Also, Cohen Bosch,
okay,
maybe, but it's going to be 2 points. I just backed them with 2 points. I'm not overly
close game.
confident. I think it's going to be a very close game, and it's going to come down to the wire. But yeah, that's basically it. That's what we have to say here at the RFD show. Thank you so much for joining us in this episode. We really appreciate it for everyone who's listening, who's been supporting us in the last couple of months and so on. And thank you so much for listening to this show. We really appreciate it. Please connect with us mainly on Twitter is our main platform, but we're on all social media platforms as well. Jock, thank you so much. Do you have a question of the day you wanna throw out there?
Just the question of the day is, um, who are you backing in the final? And maybe a second question that we can maybe do another podcast about is if you watched the Sharks game this weekend, you saw a huge tackle on Sanela Nohamba, which has rocked the rugby world now. And was it a yellow card? Was it a penalty? Even the great Nigel Owens uh, gave his opinion on that. So if you watched that game, was it a yellow card on the tackle on Nohamba? If you didn't watch it, go watch it on YouTube. I'm sure it's there in the big hit section. So yeah, who are you backing this weekend? And did you think it was a penalizable offense or yellow card or anything on that tackle?
That's a good question. We'll definitely dive into that in another episode. And we should also just cover a bit of, the last decade's high tackles or dangerous tackles. I shouldn't say high tackles, dangerous tackles,
Mm.
because there are many. And we should actually do such a series. So that's a good point. Thank you so much for the question of the day. And then always, till next time, remember to use the hashtag RFD family.